Welcome back, folks. I am Jon Najarian, and this is 3 at 3. You know the drill, 3 at 3 every day. We bring you unusual option activity. This is activity that we have found as being unusually large purchases of calls or puts. We follow those large buyers. We do not know the reason why they are buying. It could be bad news in the case of a put buyer is pending. It could be good news in the case of a call buyer pending. And why do we not care about the sold options? Because you can only make what you collect when you sell an option. Example, sell an option for $1.50. That's all you can make. Invest $1.50 in an option, and perhaps that option could go to $4, thus giving you more than a 100% return. So that's why we follow the leveraged buyers, whether they're calls or puts. All right, let's get started with today, the 20th of July. Year is speeding by, isn't it, folks? 2022. All right, AMD, this is a good example because you could have sold puts last week. The stock was trading at $80.25 last Friday. Somebody bought 18,000 calls. Those 18,000 calls gave them the right, but not the obligation, to control up to 1.8 million shares of stock. And that is, of course, because every option is for 100 shares of stock. So they bought the at-the-money call. They could have sold the at-the-money put. If they did, they would have kept that perhaps $2 or $1.80 that they would have got for selling that put. That would be the entirety of their profit potential, what they sold that put for, if the stock was to finish 80 or higher. On the other hand, you could trade this as we did and be on the long side and have that $2 investment that I made go to $9 today. That's right, $9. As you see on the screen here, it's worth intrinsically or in the moneyness is $8.45. The right to buy it at 80 when it's trading 88.45 is worth the difference between the strike price 80 and the 88.45. $8.45 profit. Bang, on a $2 investment. That's what I call a windfall. Spectacular. Our team did a great job finding these trades in AMD. And of course, Ms. Pelosi is pushing hard for that bill to make it through Congress for a subsidy of chips in the United States. Here's to you, Ms. Speaker. Her husband, Paul, traded 20,000 shares of NVIDIA on that news, apparently. Let's now go to Starbucks. These guys, we saw that unusual activity I talked about. That's just a chocolate milkshake. It's got nothing to do with coffee. Might have a little caffeine in it, but it's a bunch of ice, some cream, and coffee, and then whipped cream on top. And just to throw a few more calories in, a little hot fudge or whatever the heck that stuff is on top. Oh, not with my girlish figure, folks. I can't go for that. I spend too much time on treadmills and climbing up hills down here in Puerto Rico to throw 1,200, 1,400 calories down my gullet. But knock on wood, a lot of people do. Somebody bet that 500,000 shares worth, 5,000 options is 500,000 shares worth, that the stock would trade higher. Guess what? It did. Traded to 83.18, nearly a full $2 rally. So congratulations. If you spent $81,000 to buy 1,000 shares of this stock, you made $2,000 on an $81,000 investment. That's good, but you could have also controlled your risk with options and purchased at the money calls and had them turn into a 100% profit on the trade. You could have done that. Now, these options expire Friday, so I'm already out of 75% of them. But smoke them if you got them, folks. The Starbucks CEO also said, you know what? We're closing a bunch of stores. Why? Because San Francisco can't keep my employees or customers safe. There's drug shooting up going on in the bathrooms. I put a little bit of that on the CEO and the former CEO because they welcomed people into the bathrooms. I don't know why Starbucks becomes the de facto bathroom of America, but I railed against it then. I would rail against it today. That's something the government should be providing, not private business, unless they're charging for it, because you're ruining the experience. If I go into a Starbucks, I don't want to pay $6 for a latte, only to have some homeless guy taking a shower in the bathroom. But to each their own. San Francisco will miss them. Seattle, a bunch of these woke states will be missing Starbucks because the CEO says there will be many more closings, sadly. All right, enough of that. Off my soapbox. Let's take a look at electric vehicles and electric flying vehicles like EVTL. This one, fabulous play. They got a bunch of investment early this week. 50 lot, I believe, of their 50 lot order was purchased for these vertical lift taxis, if you will. In other words, don't need a runway, straight up, boop, go. This 13,600 option trade is 1.36 million share equivalent. That's a lot, even of a $4 stock, 1.3 million. You know, we're talking millions and millions of dollars in this particular trade. The person that did it could control. Well, how did that work out? Pretty well, I'd say, because take a look there. $6.45 is what Vertical Aerospace hit today. Bang, $6.45. That means the right to buy it at $5 in August is worth $1.45 plus time premium from now to August. You get the idea. Another 100% plus profit on this trade. Bang. Now, a further bang, Rebelcon 2022. So I would encourage all of you to go to marketrebellion.com/Dallas. That is marketrebellion.com/Dallas. Why? Because if you go there, you will see that we have a stellar lineup of unbelievable speakers. We have 4 days of this conference, 2 of which will be live trading. During 2 of those days, we will have live trading. You'll be able to watch me, Pete, Mike Yamamoto, Brian McCormick, Bill Johnson, AJ Monty, Wayne Razzie, Greg. All of our team will be there. So whether you have coaches that you've been talking to, mentors, that's that one-on-one that we have and so forth, you'll be able to check it all out at Rebelcon 2022. Go to marketrebellion.com/Dallas. That's marketrebellion.com/Dallas for more. All right. Haven't been able to bring the judge any unusual activity lately, but I'm bringing it to you right now. Let's dive in. Peloton, $10.87. 8,000 of the this week expiring 11 calls, 11 calls. So you could buy the 10.5s and sell upside if we rally. You could buy the 11s and sell upside if we rally. Keep in mind, this is a very deep end of the pool trade. Why? Because we only have 2 trading sessions left in the week. Tomorrow, Thursday, and then Friday. 2 sessions. That's it, folks. So watch Peloton. That's a lot of calls, 800,000 share equivalent. It's about $1 million trade there, wouldn't you say? $10 million worth of stock that they control, because 8,000 times about $11, you get the idea. $10 million worth of stock. I like following big trades like that. Second of today's 3 at 3 is Affirm. What is Affirm? Buy now, pay later. A lot of people like that. I think a lot of us don't do that. but there's an awful lot of Americans that do. And they've been doing it on credit cards for years with Affirm. This is not a credit card. They buy now and they pay over time. Similar in many ways to when you do layaway with your department store, except this is a modern version of that. $29 stock. They buy the Augie 30 calls, 600,000 share equivalent nearly, because 5,800 of these August 30 calls change hands. That's a big trade. 6,000 times $30. That's a big trade, folks. I want to be in on big trades like that. And I think you do too. So Affirm, AFRM, we followed in. I will be selling upside calls against it as we rally. Bang. Now for the third and final of today's 3 at 3, Microsoft. $262, back up to that level. And now with earnings coming next week, we've got October 295 calls, $33 out of the money. That's a big jump, but we could easily be there and then some. Somebody buys nearly 500,000 share equivalent of these October 295 calls. Now, again, I'm going to emphasize, I don't buy way out of the money calls. $35 is too much for me. Instead, I buy, or $33, $32.50. What I do is I buy at the money calls. And my intention is on a winning trade, I will keep selling higher and higher strikes against my at the money calls. I may even roll, taking these calls off and buying a higher strike against those higher strikes that I've sold. I like doing that one-to-one. I don't have additional risk when I do that. And yet I'm addressing both time decay and cash out of pocket to support the position. You have to decide if that's appropriate for you, but that's how I am trading it. That's the third of today's 3 at 3 Microsoft, or Mr. Softy. All right, that's going to do it for us today, folks. I thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the show. Tell your friends, please. Marketrebellion.com/get started is how you could get started trading options. We can teach you. We've got coaches, we've got mentors, we've got distance learning, all on this platform, Market Rebellion. So if you'd like to learn about how to manage risk, marketrebellion.com/get started. Thank you for joining me, folks. I hope you have a great afternoon, and I'll see you soon back here on Market Rebellion Television.